welcome to the Up Podcast, raw real talk on everything young parenting.
From self-care, co-parenting, and family planning, to balancing school, work, relationships, and goals.
Together, we're challenging society's assumptions and building a safe and supportive community for young parents.
One honest conversation at a time. So join us on the journey.
Hey guys, welcome back to another Yup Podcast. Today we have our lovely and very special Youth Advisory Council with us. They are really important to the Yup team. They really are the face of Yup. They are public ambassadors and really help us make decisions for any and everything of Yup. So today we get to have a really cool group conversation. And I'll let everybody introduce themselves. But as always, it's Divine.
And I'm Brandy. And yes, just like Divine said, we have a group of fierce moms who are doing the darn thing every single day. We want to hear from you. Some of you, we have heard from you already. So, tune into their episodes. But if we could just go around, if you could just say your name and like the ages of your children or something, and then we'll get started.
Hi, everyone. I'm Tiffany. I have a 2.5-year-old and a newborn. She's 1 month.
Love it.
Hi everyone, my name's Leandra. I'm a mom of soon to be 3. I have a soon to be 7-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a newborn on the way.
Hi everyone, my name's Kiana Rose. I'm a mother of 4. My oldest is 5. My youngest is 1 year old. My oldest daughter is 2, and then my youngest son is 3.
Hi everyone, my name is Tamar, and I am a boy mom to an 8-year-old.
I love it. Okay, we're going to jump right in because this, if we haven't noticed already, the title of this episode is Mommy Confessionals. And as we're rounding out this year, we really just kind of want to end on a light note and just talk about the things that people don't talk about. We want to kind of bring light to the quiet places of parenthood that people are too maybe ashamed or too worried about what others will think. So we're going to jump right in. So the first question that we have for everybody is, if parenting had Yelp reviews, what would you rate this week or this past week, and why?
I would say I'd give it a solid 3.
Is that a 3 out of 5? 3 out of 10?
A 3 out of 5. I was surviving. It wasn't too bad, but it wasn't all that good. As we spoke before, Brandy, last week was the week where I was feeding my newborn and my toddler decides to take off his diaper and just run around butt naked around the house. He also pooped on the carpet. I was just having the whole 9 that day.
Yeah.
Going in the fridge, breaking all the eggs. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
It's very crazy.
Okay.
I'll go next. If we're doing it out of 5, I'll rate it like a 2 out of 5. It was a rough weekend / yeah. My oldest threw a tantrum, I don't know how many times. We had 2 baby showers to go to. He didn't want to put on whatever I picked out. He just wanted to look like we were going to the playground. Everybody's all dressed up and he wants to look like I don't know what, but I don't even be trying to fight with him. I pick and choose my battles now. My youngest wasn't too bad. I wouldn't say he wasn't too bad this weekend. It was just the oldest. That's about it, honestly.
It's hilarious.
I'll go next. You're good. If I were to rate my week, I would do about like a 3 out of 5. Kids are gonna be kids, it's been a pretty crazy week in different parts of the world. And sometimes I detach from that and I just focus on my kids. And the funniest thing, like my oldest son did was he took off his band-aid that he had on his finger because he was playing with the rocks outside. He smashed his finger, put a band-aid on his finger. And he wanted to give daddy's guitar a sticker, so he put his band-aid on the guitar. And I told him he can't do that. And he was like, well, I want to help you feel better. I'm like, thank you, baby. Like, you know, they try, and I just absolutely love that. They just make light of everything, even when they don't mean to.
Yep. Love it.
I am going in strong with a 3 out of 5 too. This past week, my 8-year-old, my son, he has a girlfriend, and I think something in me just like crashed out when I heard that. So yeah, he has his first like school aged like crush, and he didn't want to tell me. He told his stepdad, and he's like, mom's gonna go crazy, you know, you can't tell my mom, blah blah blah. And I had to like subtly tell him, like, you know, like, I'm not gonna go crazy, like, I'm not gonna embarrass you, like, you know. And we had a really nice talk about it. So that's why it is a 3 out of 5, because we had a really good talk about just like body safety and how to treat each other at that age, like all that good stuff. The reason why it's a 3 out of 5, I think, is because I'm finding out all this stuff about his girlfriend, and you know how she's had a ton of boyfriends and how she dumps them all on the playground. And my son is like, you know, like, it's okay if she dumps me because I'm gonna dump her first. And I'm like, that's toxic. Like, this is toxic behavior. And there's just so much going on. Like, I don't even know like how to react. So I think it's been hard for me. But good for him. I mean, great for him. You know, and he's like, yeah, she makes me play with her like lunch, recess, and after school. Like, I can't play with my friends. Like, she just wants me to be with her all the time. I'm like, well, bud, like, we need time. And exactly. So like trying to figure out a way to like share, you know, like healthy boundaries and all of that, while also making sure he still trusts me to like tell me what's going on. So like finding that balance between the two. But it's been a great time.
I love that. We are going to be reaching out for a specific podcast on when our kids are ready and start dating. That is so spicy.
Yes. And let's talk about toxic relationships.
Hello. At an early age.
That's what I was gonna say. You better teach him them red flags soon.
Yes.
Yes.
And we are not painting red flags green
Or you know.
or yellow. I love it. Well, I'm going to give myself a 4 for last week because my child may have been in the 3 range, but I was in the 4 range. I feel like I held it together. I feel like I showed up. I feel like I was pretty gentle. I wasn't a 5 because I think I only cooked one day. So I don't even know what my kid ate the rest of the week, to be honest. But I did my best. So I'm giving myself a 4.
Definitely understandable when it comes to the cooking. That's literally me. Like, I'll be like, oh, I cooked like 3 days ago. What did we eat the last 2 days?
We survived.
Okay, and that's all that matters. Whether it be a cup of noodles or leftovers or takeout. Okay. Oh my goodness, something is clearly going in the air though. I would say I'm definitely a 3.54. Like we're making our way out of the threes. We've been having a hard time transitioning back into the routine of just back to school, having enough hours of sleep to navigate the day. It's been a lot. My daughter has been like overstimulating me, screaming at the top of her lungs, but off of like 2 weeks of punishment, she's finally like free her, y'all. She's finally out the trenches and she's now doing a lot better. So we're like making our way downtown very slowly but surely. Yes, but I love to hear where everybody is at. It is so important to check in with yourself and the others around you. So I'm so glad that we had a moment to do that. Kind of navigating and bouncing off of what Brandy just shared, knowing that you may be at like a different number than your kid, you know, on that rating scale. I'm wondering how hard or what are some of the challenges you guys have of balancing, you know, putting that cap on and being a parent compared to just like being yourself as just a young adult. How do you guys navigate both those realms?
Or do you?
Yeah.
Sometimes,
I'm still figuring it out.
sometimes it's a little hard, like when it comes to disciplining, because they'll do something
Mhm.
really funny, and you have to sit there and swallow and not laugh for them to take you serious.
Mhm.
Like Josiah, Josiah, there's so many things Josiah does that I have to turn around after yelling at him so I can bust out laughing.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. I get it.
Oh yeah, that happened to me a couple weeks ago. He shaved off his eyebrow in the shower, and I yeah, and he like takes his own showers now. Thank God. So then I go to like make sure, he's like dry and blow dry his hair and all that stuff. And he's like giggling, and I see like a trail of hair because he also gave himself a haircut. And I start picking up the hairs, and then I look at his face, and I'm like, I physically had to like walk in the other room to like bust out laughing because I just couldn't contain. I couldn't contain. Yeah, and I asked him, I was like, why? And he's like, that'd be funny. That was his response. A shrug, physical shrug, and a giggle. Thought it'd be funny.
It worked.
Yeah, watch out. Don't leave your razors if you share a shower. Don't leave your razor in there. Even on the highest shelf, there's a way. There's a
Yeah.
way. If they find a will, or if there's a will, there's a way.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
Yep.
For me, trying to distinguish in between like being a parent and being myself, I really try to have fun with my kids and make light of like any moment, but I've also had to learn how to master the stare. So
Ooh.
like, when they really testing you, you want to laugh because they giving you attitude and they think it's funny. Sometimes you just really got to stare at them and just give them silent and have them rethink it. Either they'll like keep going and that's when you gotta have to step it up, or they'll just run away like, I'm sorry. So like really learning to like master like when to be funny, when to be serious is like super important when it comes to like disciplining my kids and redirecting my kids, or just also redirecting myself. Because there's sometimes I gotta look in the mirror like, okay, what the hell am I doing right now? I'm about to crash out, or am I just gonna break down and cry? And just mastering that stare both with your kids and with yourself, just giving yourself that moment to self reflect is important in any situation, and also making light of it. There's a lot of situations I can name with my kids where I just wanted to just pop off, but I couldn't just help but laugh. I'd rather just laugh with them than like hurt them, you know. And it's just so funny because they see that and they feel more safe around me. Yeah, they want to act up more, but they also know that they can be themselves around me because, I'm so open with them. So I think just having lighthearted humor, knowing when to sit down with yourself, and mastering that stare is going to get them right.
Mm.
And that stare is universal. Like, if I have to look at a kid, or somebody has to look at my child, they know, okay, you know the stare. Like, that is universal. You know who knows. What about you, Leandra? How do you balance it all?
Not gonna lie, sometimes I'll be crashing out. Most times. My son has ADHD, so it's a little tricky with him. I have to be very stern with him because he will think you're playing. He'll laugh right in my face. So, yeah, it's a little bit of a challenge. There was many times where I had to give him that stare, and he'll look at me, and he'll just start making funny faces. And it's so hard for me to contain myself. So I'll be trying not to laugh, but it's like I know if I laugh, I'm gonna crack, and then he's gonna crack, and he's just gonna think that what he's doing is cool. But yeah, I just try to be I try to be stern with him, but not to the point where he's like, damn, mom, like, can I do anything? Can I mess up?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense. That makes sense. I think we're constantly balancing that, not even who the person you want to be, but also just the parent that you want to be. Right? When I said earlier I was gentle last week, I aspire to be a gentle parent. Now, I have to aspire to that every day. I have to reset every day. Like today I aspire to be a gentle parent, and I may or may not succeed in that today, but that's my heart says I want to be a gentle parent today, you know? So I love that. But switching gears a little bit, thinking about, because a lot of times we don't talk about these things out loud, right? Because we don't want to be judged. Like if you crash out, that's like, oh, well, you shouldn't have been having kids, or you can't handle it, or you need to go get some help, or you're a bad mom, or you're a bad dad, or whatever. And it's always judgment from the outside. And I'm like, we all had the shared everything that everyone said we all experience, right? And we live on different parts of the country. We're different ages. We have different age kids, and yet it's universal. And so if people would be not so stuck on like what the world says that it should look like and realize that actually that's not what my daily life looks like, then we wouldn't feel that so much. So what are some of the expectations that either family or community or social media or whatever have put on you that you feel like is unrealistic?
So to jump on that gentle parenting, you have to have a gentle kid to gentle parent. That's my opinion. Yeah. Like my son, not a I can tell him, Josiah, stop. Josiah, stop. And that's when he stops.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
although I don't hit him, he just knows the chancleta because when we were little, pow, 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 and we would be laughing.
Mhm.
But he knows it,
Yeah.
so when he sees it, he says pow, pow, and goes to his bed. But yeah, just, you have to have patience with yourself, honestly. And I don't like how there's a whole expectation on, oh, you can't just be rough. My mom, too, she doesn't like when I yell at him. But she doesn't remember half the stuff she used to do to me.
Mm.
They don't like
Right.
to talk about that, and they don't like to think about that.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, because you used to whoop me, not hard, obviously, but I am the way I am today. Sometimes a little bit of discipline isn't bad, as long as it's like reasonable and not extensive.
Mm.
That makes sense. But yeah,
True.
I don't like that expectation of you have to be gentle, you have to you can't say no. Your child needs to learn, not that your child needs to learn, everybody's different. But my child needs to learn what no is. It's a very important word, not just because
And it's a full sentence.
yes.
On the topic of like, I guess, yeah, like discipline, which is so like people don't want to talk about that, because it's not the fun side of parenting, unfortunately. I think what works for my son and I is just really, really long conversations. And he also has ADHD. But and it takes a long time. And I think a lot of parents, just maybe don't have the time, or like find the time to have those long conversations. And I mean, like, when something goes wrong, we'll be talking and I don't care if it's 11 p.m., like we're going to stay up and talk the whole entire situation through until he understands and it clicks in his head. So yeah, it's just really long conversations going over and over about just, how to be a good citizen, how to treat others with respect, how to treat yourself with respect, how to find the resolution when you make a mistake and it's okay to make mistakes, and just instilling different, I'd say, philosophies. I study a lot of philosophy on my free time, so I also put that into my parenting. So I like to talk with these things about my son, and he doesn't really make a lot of mistakes. I know, like he makes kid mistakes, like shaves his eyebrow off, but I notice like when it comes to communication and just making healthy choices, like he's very, very aware and like knows. And when someone else messes up, like he'll even acknowledge that. Like there was this one kid at their school who is saying really unkind things to other kids, and he was friends with my son, and he, like, after school one day, he's like, Mom, like, I don't think I should be friends with him anymore because he's not treating other kids with kindness, and I've tried to help him but he's not listening, so I feel like I don't know what to do. And like just giving him advice and all of those things and coming at it from like a human perspective, I think that's really helped my parenting, and like avoid like massive consequences,
Yeah.
but there is always the if. So once he gets older, I'm sure there'll be something that will come up that will require more than just a conversation. But I think it's really hard sometimes to parent, like it takes a lot of time, like to be a good parent. Like you have to really put yourself first, stay up later, like pause in the moment and reflect. Like if he's acting out like in public, like I will like sit there, like find a corner, go sit down, and we will sit there and talk about it, and we're not leaving until the conversation's over. So then it makes him want to like talk through it because he just wants to leave. So I feel like I found that works really well.
So when it comes to like disciplining and like controversial like views of being perceived as a young parent, for me, being a young parent, having 4 kids, in my experience, I have taken the good things that I received from the way I was parented, and I have taken that and applied it in my own way that it's more safer and more engaging for my kids. Growing up mixed race and having like older generation parents raise me and like growing up in and out of the system and experiencing a lot of traumatic things. I've learned to mix a little bit of Bernie Mac with Miss Rachel in my parenting, and I feel like when it comes to disciplining my kids, I do want to keep it a lighthearted, a little bit humorous, but I also try to tailor that discipline around the action that they've done that was wrong. So like if my son is gonna try to knock down like my bookshelf, I'm like, oh, you think you strong? Well, let's pump some weight right now. Let's pump some weight. You know, like if he's talking back to his teacher, I'm like, okay, when we go write down, our name. I'll make sure you know your first and last name. So if you continue to do bad, you go to jail. You go and remember what your name is and where that's gonna lead. I try my best to be as interactive and engaging as I can with my kids, and make it into lessons that they can apply in life. Like I feel like that's been very beneficial for especially when my kids have been getting bullied. I've been teaching my kids, stand on business, protect yourself, protect your boundaries. I recently got a call from his school that he went to the principal's office because he socked a kid that was bullying him, but he wasn't in trouble because the kid hit him first. And I taught my son to stand on business, and I feel like that's what a lot of parents should start to do. Like violence is not a bad thing; it is a regular human emotion that can be regulated in ways that which we understand and our kids understand too. And that plays more into like the critiques that we get as young parents. A lot of people assume that we don't know that. A lot of people assume that since we're young parents, we don't know what to do, or we're too misguided. No, we know what to do. It's just people just think we don't know nothing, don't want to hear us out. And when it comes to those critiques, I look at the people that are saying these things to me. Well, do they have kids? Are they successful? Where do I are they in a place where I want to be? If it ain't none of that, I ain't gonna hear nothing of what they're saying. That can come from like professionals, in laws, family, parents, teachers, anything. I just don't. In my parenting, I stay true to myself, and my kids are a product of that.
Yeah,
Love
I love
that.
that.
When it comes to discipline, I try to gentle parent as much as I can. Um, talking to him, having like multiple conversations with him, doing timeout for 6 minutes because he's 6. Um, Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't work. Doing timeout for the 6 minutes, he'll come out his room, he'll start yelling, he'll start throwing stuff, and um, yeah, he gets a little feisty. Um, but when he gets like that, I try to stay as calm as possible and keep talking to him. He does have ADHD, so his attention span is not all there. So I'll talk to him. He'll say I forgot multiple times. So it does get a little overwhelming when they're yelling at you and they're throwing things and they're trying to destroy stuff. Um, what I learned that what I learned works best for my son is to just give him some time to cool off and then go back to him and to explain to him what he did wrong and why it's not okay. Yeah. I mean, that's really it.
And
But yeah, trying to gentle parent as much as I can and repeat myself over and over and over again until he gets to that point where, nothing is working. Yeah, and everybody's kid is different as well. Some kids don't need that to listen. Other kids are a little bit more extreme, so you got to do what is best for your child. Some will get it down just by like getting talked to repeatedly and like yeah, but my kid is not a gentle kid. My son's a little savage.
thank you all for being so raw and real on this topic. It's definitely not something that is talked about enough. I think as far as like having expectations from the outside world, whether it be in laws, family, society, specifically touching on discipline, like you all shared, you guys know your kids best and you know what they need. And I don't think it's talked about enough where it's like we can have a bad day. And like, not everything about parenting is supposed to be glamorous or feel good. There's a lot that comes with being a parent. Having that responsibility of disciplining is already not easy. Like, who says that you're going to feel good about it? It's not something that is this great feeling. So I definitely get, having to do things that don't always, feel good, but you feel is necessary. And I feel like that is all about parenthood, making sacrifices or just doing the hard things that you're left to do. So I just really appreciate everybody's honest opinions on that. And we're going to kind of shift gears in a little bit more fun spirited topic because it is confessional time. So I want everyone to go around and maybe say something that either a little embarrassing, a little funny, that you've experienced in your parenting that you don't really say out loud. And I can go first. This literally just happened the other day. My daughter, I don't know what, she was just having like a super clumsy day, but like every couple minutes she was getting hurt. Like coming into the kitchen, slip and fall, going into her room, trip and fall. Like she was just coming to me with bruises every couple minutes. And then we had like this little moment, your kids want to show you something. Mommy, watch this. Look at me. Watch me do this 100 times. And I'm finally looking, and she does some kind of like somersault back twist and like right into the wall. And like she was just so dramatic. Like, like she just could not control herself. She was just screaming, crying. And I'm just like holding back, like choking, like, oh my God, there's no way you did that. And I felt so bad. And like every time like I was trying to comfort her, I would just like shove her face in my chest so like she could not see me cracking up. But yeah, sometimes it's not fun watching your kids get hurt, especially like obviously big traumatic things, but like something like that, like, oh my God, I could not keep my cool. So yeah, what else is going on in your household?
So I just decorated the door probably like the other day. And I took Josiah and I said, Josiah, look. He got so scared. And I'm sorry, I was cracking up. It was so funny. It was just birds, like crows, the silhouette of crows. So it was nothing scary. And he did not want to touch the door or get near the door. He kept hiding under me. And another thing, so about 2 months back, we went to Six Flags, and he's tall enough to ride the rides, like the little kiddie rides. So I put him on the one that goes like that for the kids. I felt bad, but it was also funny, but I felt really, really bad. He was crying. I felt bad. He was scared. Like, he'll be okay at the top, and then when it would go down, he'd be like this. So I'm sitting here cracking up and in tears because I'm like actually feeling really sad. Because I couldn't get him off, but it was so funny at the same time. Yeah.
I love that.
I guess I'll go next. So with my youngest, you guys know that little bouncer thing that you put in the doorway that they like just jump up and down. I put him in that, and I turned around for 1 second, and when I turned back around, he was like swinging, like it was a swing, and he smacked his head on the door frame. Oh my God, I felt so bad, but I couldn't help but to do like just a little chuckle because boy, what are you doing? Swinging. It's for bouncing like he's a baby. He don't know, but I haven't put him in that in a couple of days. I felt so bad. I felt like a bad mom.
For me, oh my gosh, there's like so much that's always going on. But I think one of the most funniest things was like I love being active with my kids. I like taking them like out and like teaching them how to run and stuff. So we decided to go while my phone screen was getting repaired. We decided to go to like a activity center. It's like they got like jungle gyms and stuff like where you can climb and play around. It's for like the parents and the adults who pay to get in. My oldest son really wanted me to go and run it with him, and I'm like, oh, I got this. I'm in shape. I could do this. And we get our socks on, we start climbing up, and my son takes off on me. Zoom. I'm trying to run in between all these kids, and I'm feeling all old, and I'm like crouching, getting in these little like crawl spaces, trying to find my son. And he emerges at the slide, and he's like, "Come down the slide with me, mommy." And then like he swoops around the corner. I'm like, "All right, I got you." So I go around the corner. Boom! I hit my head on the sign, and then I go down. And then one of the moms at the bottom, she was just like, "Yeah, that sign got me too." And I'm like, "Oh my goodness, they should put a sign there for that." And then we just both started laughing. And I looked at my forehead in the mirror. I looked like Harry Potter, and my son was just laughing at me. That was really funny. Another situation that was really peculiar to me was while I was cooking dinner last night. I like to let my kids cook with me, and I teach them while I'm cooking. And as I'm like putting the tortillas, like I made chilaquiles, which is like with the tortilla chips and the eggs and the salsa. So like I'm frying the tortilla chips. I'm putting them off to the side, and I go and I turn around, and my boys, they're taking turns smashing each other's fingers in the door, in the sliding door. And I'm like, "No, please don't do that. That's not safe." And then they're like, they're just like slamming, and then they go outside, and then they slam the door on the other one. They're like taking turns, and then I turn around, and I'm like, "Okay, don't do that." I get them inside, and then I turn around. My daughter, she's like pouring the tortilla chips back in the oil, so like the tortilla chips are double fried, and I'm just like, "Okay, no, don't do that." So like I put it back, and then she's just all happy because like she didn't get burned or anything. She's just trying to cook like mommy. And then I put all the tortilla chips back, and I turn around again, and they're all smashing each other's fingers in the door. And they're just like, I'm just like, "Oh my goodness, what what is safety in this house?" And like I feel like I'm the only sane person in like a madhouse. But I mean, it was really funny. It kept me on my toes. And then there's like my youngest daughter, my she's about to be 1 on the 27th, and there she is just looking at him and like doom doom, banging her head against the glass, just watching him. I'm just like, "Oh my goodness, I'm gonna have to separate everyone right now." Like that's the kind of energy that's in my house. But like I try my best to keep everyone corralled and together, but they always find a way to make it fun and dangerous.
You see, I have always wanted more kids because I feel like it's just so much. Like I'm sure it's not always fun in the moment, but like it sounds like it's really lively. But I don't have the patience for that, so that is why I have one and will not have more. My son doesn't do a lot of, I'd say, like peculiar things, but he has really weird interests that I don't always know whether to be concerned about. So I don't allow screen time at all, like in the house, like Monday through Thursday, like no TV, nothing. Like I don't even really go on my phone. Once I pick him up from school, and like there's nothing. Even for myself, really. And then like the weekends, I let him like do whatever. But like he doesn't have a phone. I'm very like adamant, at least from like my household, like I don't want him to have a phone too young. I had a phone at a really young age, and it was really detrimental personally, so I'm trying to like navigate that. But he still somehow finds the strangest things, and I can't quite figure out where it's coming from. I'm assuming at school, but like he came home with a picture that one of his friends drew him, and it was of a giant head floating in the sky it was decapitated, and it had blood pooling out, and then it was pooling on the floor, and then there were little people with umbrellas like walking under it, and then they were like speaking. They had like text box, and it said like, "Oh no, what's that?" And I asked him, I was like, "Did you like draw?" Like I was like concerned, like, "Did you draw this?" He's like, "No, my friend drew it for me. It's from a video game." And I was like, and I'm just like, so like weird things like that will happen, or like he'll talk about like Roblox a lot and just like things I don't know. So I'm trying to like stay up with the times. I feel so old. Like I'm not that old, like I'm literally 24. So I'm like, I should know this, like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, should I be concerned? Should I be worried? And then like I'll try to talk to like his friends, like parents, and like they'll explain what it is. And I'm like, the fact that like these like not like that they're old, but like older parents will like know more than I know, and then I feel defeated, like I should have known this. But lots of like, I'd say just weird like art and like conversations from things out in the universe. I don't know if anyone can relate to that, or if it's just an 8-year-old thing, but should I be concerned? I don't know. Never know.
I think I think it's that Roblox because they have a lot of stuff in there, a lot of weird stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he doesn't even play Roblox. He plays like Pokemon. So I'm like, where's this coming from? Like, I don't know.
Kids talk about it.
In school, definitely. But I don't think you should be too worried since he's not on the screen. And he's going to be fine. My partner was very weird. His mom thought he needed help from how he used to watch really creepy videos to go to sleep. And he turned out completely fine. So
Tell them that she
Yeah.
fucking true crime stories.
Ooh,
you know,
not even the background. Correct us to it.
said to mention how his mom would watch true crime videos to go to sleep, but he was the issue watching creepy, haunting, like killer stories.
The fictional stories.
And she would like turn it off. She would always be like, Daniel, turn that off.
She said at one point she locked.
See, honestly, that makes me feel better because I do watch, like right now I've been watching The Walking Dead and I'm finally on like season 12. Or no, they don't have season 12, season 11, and then I'm going to watch the new show. But aside from that, I do watch that like after he goes to bed. And I have a feeling maybe he can hear, you know, because I'm like, sometimes I'm like, maybe like our kids can like hear what we watch, like when they're sleeping. Like they're totally peering. Because I remember when I was little, I used to crawl and like try to listen. So I'm like, are we to blame? Am I to blame for his like creepy interests? I don't know.
You know, I feel like kids are just weird. I feel like they get into really strange, weird things, but they'll all be fine. They'll be fine. I love like all the things that y'all were sharing because it's so funny. And I just want to point out that we tend to, I don't know, share things about our kids, right? That they do that's funny. And that's just a natural thing, right? Like anytime we're supposed to be talking about ourselves. And our first instinct is to talk about our kids because that's like our lives, right? Our day-to-days, our lives are so consumed with our kids. So I just think it's hilarious. Kiona, did you want to say something? Sorry.
Yeah. First, I want to say a hot take. Tablet kids are cooked. Absolutely cooked. Like my in-laws, they got my kids tablets for Christmas. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna see how this works. It has like the little learning system on it. Has YouTube Kids on it. No, I didn't like it the first week they had it. Like they were screaming at me for the tablet every time I take it away to try to get them to eat dinner or try to help me like prep the table for dinner and start yelling at me. I'm like, okay, no. And then they started talking about Sprunkies, Skibbity Toilet. And I'm like, okay, what is that? And they're like, oh, mommy, watch Skibbity Toilet with me. I'm like, all right. So I pulled up there's like a 2-hour version of Skibbity Toilet. It starts off with like, the like repeating like song with like the spinning toilets. And then it turns into a full on mecha battle. There's like battles in between like different speaker titans and stuff. And I'm involved in the lore. And I'm like, wait, am I cooked now? And like I'm like really involved in like what's going on in Skibbity Toilet. And then like Ronnie comes back from school and he tells me, mommy, there's a new episode of Skibbity Toilet that dropped. I'm like, oh wait, I'm gonna clock that, but I'm like, wait, no. And then like like Sprunkies, they're like the little sound guys that make different beats. My son downloaded it on my phone and he was playing it for a bit, and he was like, mommy, make a beat with me. And I'm like, what? And he was like, that's what these Sprunkies are. They make sounds. And then I'm trying the different templates and I'm making beats with my son. I'm like, okay, no, I'm for sure cooked. But I'm like, no, wait, I'm actually engaging with my kid. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, now I know about Skibbity Toy, now I know about Sprunkies. But see, there's always mediation with like screen time because it could be a good interest or it could be a bad interest. And then there's like different like OC content for like Sprunkies where they look like nightmares and they look all scary. And my sons like those. And I'm like, wow, this stuff look crazy. Like, I know you like the beats, but if you're gonna have nightmares about this, then I can't have y'all around this. If y'all want to listen to music, I can put on some Spotify and we could jam out. But like trying to get to know their interests has really helped me become more like involved in understanding of them as a parent. But I feel like just tablet kids are cooked because they don't have that regulated screen time with the parent engaging with them in between.
Can we talk about that? Can we talk about how like you were talking about, Kiona, how you were then in it, right? You find yourself in it now. You're singing the songs. You're saying, I will purposely say the things all in a row, Skibbity Toilet, Ohio Rizzler, whatever it is, just to make my child cringe, right? But can we also talk about how toxic this is? Because now the kids everything is 6'7", like that's everything, right? And they're like 6'7". And so I was in a meeting actually earlier today. This is a confessional. I was in a meeting where like people, it's a professional work meeting, and they were like, oh, 6 or 7. And my instinct was to be like, 6, 7. Because this is so all consuming that it's like you want to be a part of it. You want to know what the things mean, but also I'm too grown to be like doing this, Um, but also, can we also talk about some of the unspoken things? Like, did we ever have to lie to our kids about something? Like, have you ever seen that thing where they said Chuck E. Cheese is closed and they don't even know, right? So you like, how many times, because I will tell you, there are plenty of times where I just say the most random things, whatever comes to mind, like, no, it's closed. It's closing early. Why would you want to go? It's closing early. Like just make stuff up because
I hop in on that really quick. So this actually reminds me of a situation that happened 2 days ago. So me and my fiance, we got tired of like my cat litter box smell in my room. So we decided, well, let's move her cat litter box to the boys' room. And so we like got everything with the cat to the my boys' room. I told them like, this is how you take care of the cat. Just leave her be. Don't chase her. She's gonna get scared. She might scratch you. Fine, boom. And then me and my fiance come back to our room so we could start like finishing like our schoolwork and stuff. And then all of a sudden, my mom knocking on the door. Like that goes back to the point, like, you try to get elders involved and they just as lost as you are because kids are crazy. My mom's been banging on my door and she's like, the cat done shit everywhere. And I'm like, what? And then there comes my son like holding my cat, like squeezing her. He's like, she's so fluffy. And I'm like, oh my goodness. And so my fiance had the smart idea to well, I had to give the cat a bath. My mom was cleaning up all the cat poop around the room because the kids were like chasing the cat around the room to the point where she was scared. My fiance had the great idea to tell my son, your leg will fall off because the cat poop, the bacteria eats away at your skin and you will lose your limbs if you continue to play with cat poop. And that was the quickest my son ever hopped in the shower, and that was the quickest their room has ever gotten clean. So there are appropriate times where that's necessary. But I'm leaving my foot right back to the room. I'm learning my lesson.
Do you want to lose your leg? Absolutely, I think that's appropriate parenting. But moving on, because we've been going for a while. But moving on, I just have a question. What is one thing about parenting that you thought you loved, but secretly you dread? And I'm going to start by saying making school lunch. I thought I was going to be that mom that was going to make the cute little sandwiches and the this and the that. And now I'm like, how much money do you need? Because it's not happening.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought the same thing. I ordered all these little cute little tiny forks, all these little picks and stuff, the bento box with all the different compartments and the little containers for sauce. I did it for like the first week of school and I was like, oh yeah, I'm running out of ideas. I don't know what I'm gonna do here. So, honey, you're gonna have to eat that school lunch because I don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
Every time he asks, Mommy, can you pack me a lunch? I be like, oh my God. I'm just gonna go buy a Lunchable, and at that point, I'm gonna just open it up and put it in all little compartments because I don't know what else to do. It looks fun though. It be looking fun when the moms do it on TikTok, but that's a lot of work.
Creative.
Yeah, meal prepping is a lot of work.
For me, it's putting together outfits. Sometimes, they get dirty, and then it's like, I put so much effort into putting this little outfit to take you a picture, and then you got dirty. So now I'm not even gonna lie to you. After school, after his shower, he stays in a diaper half the time unless we're going out.
Yep, that too.
I'm sure there were so many more things I hated when he was younger. I always thought that I would love the baby phase because babies are so cute. I could not stand, hated it, genuinely. I love that my son's older now. It was just so hard for me, honestly, to be transparent, with y'all and other moms listening. It was so hard when kids are really little. It's really hard. I always thought for myself, because I was a young mom, that something I looked forward to would be homework. And I had this vision in my head that it would be me doing my college homework and then my son doing his. No, it is the biggest lie, blasphemy, BS. I'm not kidding. Homework, the fact that it takes him 2 hours to do 2 pages, that does make me crash out. Like, if there's the one thing that does make me crash out, I'm a very patient woman. I have to be for my job, honestly, and that translates to my parenting. I'm not patient with homework. I'm so sick of it. And sometimes, like, I just think in my head that I try not to say it because I don't want to be mean, but I'm like, dude, like, you're doing 2 plus 2, like, be so for real. Like there are so many, like, I'm sorry, but kids in Europe are learning like multiplication when they're in, like, I don't know, kindergarten. Like, you're like, come on, you're in the US like school system, it ain't that hard. It really ain't that hard.
If
And
Johnny,
I'm so passionate about it because it takes so long. And I remember, like, when I was in college, like, I would be so, like, worried about, like, having to finish my work and then also, like, his education. And it just took so damn long, and I hated it. I hated every second. I still hate it. Like, when I come home from work and I have to do homework, like, something in me dies inside. So I hate back to school. I hate back to school. Like, I know it's great, like, kids have structure and all that, but damn, like, over the summer when there's no homework and it's all just like free range, that's so much easier in my opinion. And I just crashed out thinking about it. But yeah, can't stand homework.
Honestly, I agree. Like, helping my little brother-in-law, he's 8, with homework. Literally, I have to take a breather because you have to have patience. I'm not ready for that stage when the boys get to that stage because, Lord, what do you mean? What do you mean you don't know what 8 plus 5 is? And then you'll sit there and teach them, even though it's not the method they're learning in school, because I'm old school. I don't know what they're learning now. You teach them the method step by step, and still, I just showed you.
Yeah. At this point, I'm just going to do it because.
and you're going to get an A.
You're going to get an A or not, and I'm going to learn something about myself today.
I wanted to go next. Something that I do love and hate about being a parent is school photos. This is my oldest son's kindergarten picture. This is $200. $200 for all this. I love it, but I also hate it. And I got 4 kids, so I'm gonna have to learn to like stack my bread up. Like, I love seeing them grow, but like getting them into sports, seeing how much they're growing, and like watching me watch them along the way. I love and I hate it, but I think just like seeing like their pictures start to fill up my wall over time has really been warming my heart, and it makes me feel like I'm doing good.
I really love all of that. Something that came to mind for me is I always thought I would be like this cool, not necessarily sports mom, but like extracurriculums. Like, we're maxing out. You're doing a little bit of everything. And as much as I love it, like, love to see the results of things, the practices, whatever, like, it is so exhausting. Like, my schedule, my capacity, my capability. And this is just a little confession. I don't think I ever told anybody this other than like my family. One time I picked my daughter up from practice and I left without her. I came to pick her up, and like I had like the music blasting, like the Disney hits, like I was ready, like let's get this on the road. And she like opened the door, threw her bag in, closed it, and so I'm just driving off, like, yeah, let's go home. I happen to hear like faint screaming, and she's like running behind my car, like, Mom, I'm not it.
Should have said something. Should have said
Like,
something.
why would you ever put your bag in and close the door? I guess you was coming around to get in on the other side of the door, but why would you do that? I'm already out this joint. Yeah.
I love it.
Exhausting.
Yonder, did you have one?
Let's see. There is a few. Honestly, I think I'm gonna go with the school pictures too. My son for kindergarten, I think I sent a picture to Divine. I practiced all day with him for this school picture, and I was like, "You're gonna smile. You're gonna smile like this. Show mommy how you're gonna smile." He's like, "Yeah, mommy, I'm gonna smile. I'm gonna smile." And I had pre-ordered the picture, so I didn't get like a preview or anything. When I get that picture, this boy is so serious. Like, like I was like, "What happened? I thought you were gonna smile. Are you like, was everything okay?" He was like, "Yeah, I was just shy." I was like, "Oh, I felt bad," but I was like, "Dang, baby, you made me pay $50 for these pictures, and you are so serious." Like, you would think that he had like the worst day ever But his teacher was like, yeah, I tried to get him to smile, but he just wouldn't. Like, he was not having it. I guess being told how to smile just completely threw him off. But hopefully this year it'll be better.
Cute. Okay, well, I think we're gonna end on a rapid fire Q&A, like rapid fire questions. So just quick, just say it's gonna be this or that. So you're just gonna say the word of whatever one you agree with. Sound good? Okay, so rapid fire, coffee or sleep?
Sleep.
Coffee.
Sleep.
Coffee.
Coffee.
Sleep.
Both. Coffee and sleep.
Okay, one chore you always avoid. Dishes.
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 Dishes. Okay. Favorite lazy meal to cook?
Spaghetti.
Hamburger helper, whatever they're called.
Mhm.
Cup of noodles.
I say cereal or pasta.
Pasta.
I go with spaghetti.
Okay, play dates. Are they fun or exhausting?
Exhausting.
Definitely exhausting.
Exhausting.
Exhausting, because then the kids start not getting along. And it's like, why am I parenting? I'm supposed to
Yeah.
be hanging out.
Yeah. Unless the adults are also having a play date, then tap me out.
Okay. Morning person or night owl?
Night owl.
Both.
Night owl. Okay, well, you have a newborn. You're like, I'm always
over the
up.
place. Yes.
Always up. Okay, would you rather have a maid or a chef?
A chef.
Chef.
Maid.
A chef.
Maid.
I think maid.
I'll throw down.
I have to say I got like a robo vacuum for pretty cheap, and I started calling it my housekeeper. I named it and everything because you just need to clean all day.
Do your job. Like I do. Okay. Favorite place to hide from your kid?
The bathroom.
Yeah.
Bathroom.
Have no spot to hide.
In the backyard, because here in Arizona the rocks get real hot when it's sunny outside, so when they try to walk to me on the rocks, I'll be like, "Ah," and then just go back in.
Where do you like to hide when you're having, like, two-part of that, when you're having like a snack that you don't want the kids to have? Like, where do you hide the snack and where do you eat it?
A closet.
I make sure he's
My car.
protected and go to the other room.
The car, yeah.
Mm,
I'd say
yeah.
like bathroom car. I mean, the wrappers that I find hidden places because I tried to stash it real quick.
Wait,
Unhealthy.
Brandy, you did this one time after I did it. I like to eat my snacks late at night in the bed, and like on some real fatty stuff, I woke up with chocolate bars smashed all over me in the bed. It was so gross.
Yep.
We all been there.
Okay, I'm not.
Okay, thank y'all so much for joining us and for engaging in that. That was so fun. The conversation is going to continue because there's so many confessions and just like things that we don't talk about, but I appreciate your vulnerability and I look forward to having y'all on future podcasts. So until next time, y'all.
Thank you guys. Till next time.
If you enjoyed the Up podcast, please subscribe, share, and leave a comment.
And visit youngunitedparents.org for the information, community, and resources young moms and dads need to thrive.